did the Lions, we did the Vikings. I guess it's time to do the Bears. Oh my!
Hold on. I got a question real quick about the Vikings.
Oh no.
Sure.
I just got a question, man. If plus 30 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards, and 6-7 completion percentage is mediocre, sign me up. All right, that's all I got to say.
Fair
you
enough.
Can continue.
Yes, sir. I will definitely do that. I have never been a fan of him, and I won't be a fan of him. And as he says, you like that? No, I don't. So let's move on, Kirk Cousins. Alex Fleming. History was made this past NFL draft. And you and I talked about this previously. It was a moment in time. And the fact of the matter is, we are, in my opinion, seeing a change in the city of Chi-Town. So now, with their first pick in the draft, they drafted a black quarterback in Justin Fields. Now, there are a lot of people who feel like he should sit a year, if you will, or he should, basically not be given the start. I am not one of those people. And my hope is that Matt Nagy realizes the true talent that he has in Justin Fields. But when I look at this and I look at this schedule, here is what I see when it comes to the Chicago Bears. All right. Yes, their first game is in Los Angeles against the Rams, against Aaron Donald. I personally feel like the Bears could upset and shock a lot of people and win this game. They've got Cincinnati. That's a win. At Cleveland, I don't know. Your first divisional game is against Detroit. We already spoke about them, so I would give that a victory to, in fact, the Chicago Bears. You go to Vegas. We don't know what Vegas is going to be like this year. To me, that's another victory. So starting out, I could potentially see the Chicago Bears, even with my upset pick, I could see them at 4-1 before we finish out the rest of this season. Megan, let me go to you before I get to Alex. Give me your thoughts on the Chicago Bears and what you think they're going to be like if, in fact, Justin Fields is their starter this year.
I hope that Justin Fields is their starter. I had to go through the woes of having Andy Dalton as our starter there for a while, so nobody wants to have to do that. Now, I do think that they lose opening week to the Rams because it's in LA. I agree. Bengals is a win. Browns is questionable. I do think they catch that first win with the Lions. But then when we get to week 5 with the Raiders, I'm going to tell you, we absolutely know what the Raiders are going to be. They're going to be nothing. So another W. So, I got them sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 kind of give me games and maybe 2 questionable. So, I'm going to go.
You're on the fence between that 7 and 8 spot. I can see it, Megan.
I am. I'm going to say 7 wins. Yeah.
Fair enough. 7 and 10. Mr. Fleming, first off, are you coming back home? Are you going to be a fan of Chicago because of what the Bears have done in drafting Justin Fields? That is my first question. And then my second question to that is, what do you see with what this team is doing this season?
You remember earlier after the Super Bowl and they signed Ronald McDonald and they cut their cornerback Kyle Fuller. I was furious. I couldn't believe that McCaskey was going down this route. And the team has been slowly getting worse because you got a Ferrari defense with the Pinto offense. None of this would be an issue if they would have signed Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes. But, with time comes change. Bobby Douglas was the first drafted African-American quarterback in the NFL, and the other owners didn't want to play against Bobby Douglas and thought it was a shame that somebody who looked like him had that caliber of power at that position. Chicago's only drafted three total black quarterbacks. Bobby Douglas was the first. Second one didn't pan out, and now we have Mr. Fields. That organization's been alive for 102 years. So yes, this is historical. I did a piece on Justin Fields because there's a lot of haters, more haters than what we have. I mean, all that man did was ball. 41 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, I believe his junior, because he had to transfer from Georgia. And then 22 touchdowns and 6 interceptions last year, but went to the national championship. Fields isn't the issue. And I don't know how long Ronald McDonald is going to be the starter, especially if he gets smashed against the Rams on opening week, that Sunday Night Football. But if you look at the schedule, it reminds me of a song from Aaliyah. Back, forth, and forth. They have no consistency. They have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Road, home, road, home, road, home. That brings a team together. And last time I checked, they still got Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Akeem Hicks, Eddie Jackson. Yeah, the defense is solid. I hope you pulled up the schedule so that way I could teach some people about where they're going to shock some people. I'm glad you mentioned Vegas. That's a W. They're going to beat Cleveland. You ever been to Cleveland? You ever played Cleveland? Baker Mayfield don't have that heart. They're going to beat Cleveland. They're going to beat Detroit twice, especially on Thanksgiving. That's a gimme game. I always celebrate Thanksgiving because I know whenever the Bears play Detroit, that's a W. Oh, and Green Bay's not going to sweep the division like they did last year. They got something for Green Bay, too, especially with that porous defense and that missing left tackle since Bakhtiari is no longer there. If Justin Fields becomes the starter by week 6, I can see them winning 11 games. If it's Ronald McDonald, they probably go 8-9, 9-8. But you know what? I'm a hop back on the Chicago Bear bandwagon since McCaskey finally decided to vote Democrat. I'm gonna say 11-6.
Wow.
11-6. All right, Mr. Caratanudo.
Well, look, I mean, Justin Fields' talent is there, and I see what you're saying, Eric, but I'm sorry. I don't think coming out of college he has more – I'm not going to put him at Patrick Mahomes' level because I will actually watch Texas Tech games because on the left coast I can stay up till, 11 o'clock here when you guys are in bed at 3 a.m. and the games are just finishing up because it's like 65-55 and they're very long, a lot of incompletions. That being said, I do love his talent. I'm not going to say he's more talented than Patrick Mahomes, even coming out of college, even though – and, of course, Andy Reid, the master – quarterback genius, as you know, traded up and said, yep, he's going to sit behind Alex Smith for a year. Now, granted, Justin Fields, I'm not, Andy Dalton, in Cincinnati, look, he took him to the playoffs and never won a playoff game. There was a lot of defense around him. I get it. But with the Bears, I like what they did in the draft. I know they had to trade up to get him. I don't like the fact they didn't have any 3rd or 4th round picks. But you know what? When I look at their schedule, I don't know how I feel about Las Vegas yet. I think you guys are way confident on they're gonna be terrible. Again, we'll see what happens there.
That's not confidence,
but I do like
Mike.
some of
That's
their
just
schedule.
everybody's getting the hell out of Vegas. I mean,
John Gruden is getting rid of it. It's John Gruden. We'll see what he comes out. Look, if they start off bad, I can see it. But I like the Bears. Well, I like the first preseason game, Eric, because they play Miami, so they should probably win that by 60 with their 4th string guys the whole game. Then they play Buffalo. Then they play Tennessee. But no, the regular season schedule. Look, I'm still not sold on Pittsburgh. I love Mike Tomlin as a coach, even though I still hold that grudge against the Baltimore game years ago when he ran out on the field. Because like I told you, I don't care. I have respect for elders, but the coach gets in my way purposely because he's looking at the screen. I run his ass over. Oh well. But anyway, that being said, I look at their schedule. I think they can beat the Lions, the Giants. The Vikings again. I think those could be splits. I'm not going to go 11 because I am with Alex. I think by week 5, week 6, because I definitely wait before the bye. I think he's starting. But I think they go 9-8. I know last year they went 8-8 with the extra game. I think they go 9-8. The defense will keep them in most of the games, and you guys. Alex knows how I feel about that. I love their defense. Their defense will keep them in most games. That stretch where if Aaron Rodgers is back, you have Green Bay, Tampa, San Francisco, and then you finish out the stretch right before the bye with a Monday night game again against Pittsburgh. Which until I see it from Pittsburgh, I don't know. But that's a very winnable game for Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go 9-8 with the Bears, but I can lean towards 10 wins.
all right. Let me get Megan. Let me get Megan, then Alex, and then I want to go to John Shear.
Okay, so all those W's up to week 9 when you don't have Justin Fields coming in until week 9.
No. I said those are losses. I said that's a tough stretch. I said with the quarterback stretches. That's what I meant. If it didn't come out like I meant it, I'm just saying you play Green Bay, because I think if Vegas is that team, I think you beat Detroit, you beat Vegas, but you go on a 4-game losing streak there, even if Justin Fields is your quarterback. But I would definitely get him in to start that stretch with Vegas. That's my point. That's where I'm agreeing with Alex, because you're going, I mean, that's a murderer's row. If Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay, again, like you said, I'm with you, Alex, on that, the offensive line, but it's still Aaron Rodgers. He's going to get rid of the ball. He's going to make 6 plays. That being said, Rodgers, Brady, maybe Trey Lance, but I'll say Garoppolo right there. And then you get Roethlisberger too, even though I'm not sold on their offensive line. So no, I wasn't saying, but I think Fields should be in by the Vegas game.
All right,
I think so.
Megan?
I mean, they're not catching W's with no arm Dalton.
All right, Alex, go ahead, and then John Shear.
I agree with Megan. They're not catching W's with Ronald McDonald. But here's the thing that people aren't seeing behind the scenes. David Montgomery was a 1,000-yard rusher. They added to the backfield Damian Williams. Damian Williams is familiar with Matt Nagy and the general manager because he played for both of them in Kansas City. Daz Newsome. You cats don't know about that, man. Daz Newsome is ready to go. He should take over the number 2 at worst, number 3 wide receiver position behind Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney. They fixed a lot of the issues that they had on the offensive line by finally getting rid of Leno. That 7th-round bum is now a Washington football team guy. Oh, and have you checked out the tight end room? Jimmy Graham, Cole Kmet. Jimmy Graham's the offense, Cole Kmet's the blocker. He is a lot like that gentleman in Carolina, Tony Trimble. He knocks defenders on the ass. You're not going to get to Fields if he's the starting quarterback. They'll be able to deal with the pass rush, and the defense is still good enough to wow and surprise you. Don't be shocked if they rattle off 4 or 5 wins in a row like they did last year with Mitchell Trubisky.
All right, John Shear.
First of all, I just want to start by saying my Hurricanes just won 2-0, so I'm happy we're up 2-0. So I was excited about that. Anyway, going for the
Hurricanes.
yeah, man. Hey, my playoff game. You got your Lakers going on. She had her Spurs. I got my playoff game, so I'm happy. Anyway, these Bears
And the
only
Sky
win.
won. Chicago Sky
And the
won.
Sky
2-0.
won,
Thank you
yeah.
very much.
Yeah. So I'm only going to give him 6 wins, only because I think Matt Nagy is stupid, and he's going to start Dalton for some reason or switch between him and Foles for a while. Then eventually Fields will get in, but it will be too late to where it'll really matter. He'll win some games, but I just don't trust Matt Nagy to actually pull the trigger on putting Fields in soon enough to where they make the playoffs this year. So I'm only going to give him 6. Like Alex said, they lost Fuller, which was a big loss, and then forget what corner they added to try and make up for it, but maybe it was Trufant or something like that. But it was nothing compared to Fuller. I believe they lost Akeem Hicks actually in the offseason. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they lost him, Alex. So that's a gigantic loss for their run-stopping defense. That was the only guy that could stop Dalvin Cook. If you watch any Chicago Bears games this past season, Dalvin Cook was terrified of Akeem Hicks. When Akeem Hicks was out of the game, he ran roughshod over that defense. But when he was in, he got nothing. He was averaging like 2 yards a carry. So that guy's gone, the clogger in the middle of that defense. It's a gigantic loss to their run stopping. It's a 6-win team to me right now because we don't know what Fields is going to be. And we don't know when he's going to play because Matt Nagy's an idiot. So I'm only going to give him 6 because of Nagy. If Fields starts and he is what we think he is, they can easily win 10 games, but I just don't trust Nagy because he's stupid.
All right, let me get Ty's pick. I'll give you mine, and then I do want to go around the clock one time and ask everybody, what week do you think Justin Fields is going to start? All right, but Ty, what is your thoughts on the Chicago Bears?
Man, like you say, that division, they have a pretty tough schedule. As far as give me games go, I don't know, man. It's tough. I got them 8-9, just for the simple fact of I kind of agree with what John said. We don't know when Fields is going to play, and even if he does, I can't remember the last time I really seen an Ohio State quarterback do real, real good. I'm not saying he's going to do bad. I really hope Justin Fields does good because I really like Justin Fields. I really do. But can't remember the last time we really seen one do good. So I don't know. Hopefully he breaks that, but I got him 8-9.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Ty. We haven't seen an Ohio State quarterback do well, but just like Chicago changed, I think he might change the perception of not only the black quarterback, but also a Ohio State quarterback, which is why for me, I have them going 9-8, because when I look at this team, I have to believe that you didn't draft him to have him sit behind Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. Okay. These guys are not Tom Brady. They're not, Aaron
Alex Smith.
Rodgers. They're not, Patrick Mahomes. He's not sitting behind those guys. You're sitting behind two guys. Now, yes, one I will forever be indebted to because he brought me my very first Super Bowl championship. But then you have Mr. Regular Season.
Better than
I'm an
Carson
all-star.
Wentz.
Do I interrupt y'all that much? If I do, please tell me and I'll stop. I'm just going to say.
I mean, you interrupted me earlier. I'm just saying.
Okay, my apologies. The other guy is a brilliant guy in the regular season, but the minute he gets to the playoffs, he becomes a shell of himself. So that's why I say Chicago did not go up to get Justin Fields to have him sit behind Andy Dalton and Nick Foles, which is why I feel he's going to get the start week 1. And that's why I have to believe that with everything that Alex said and the changes that were made, and Matt Nagy knowing that you are on the brink of history, all right? You have got to get this team off to a great start. And what better way to do it than to go into somebody else's house week 1 and beat the number 1 defensive guy in the entire NFL? So that's why I say they set the tone right there.
But Eric,
would you really
want to see him against that defense, though?
Yes.
Hey, let me say this. Let me say this very simply. To be the man, you got to beat the man.
I wouldn't want Aaron Donald nowhere near that piece of merchandise.
I would want to, okay. If I was a general manager or head coach of the Chicago Bears and I went up to draft this guy, there's already a high expectation. I got to see what my money is paying for. So yeah, I want him week 1. I want to see what he's capable of.
Man, that's like driving a Bugatti. That's like driving a Bugatti through Compton, man.
No. What Tyrus isn't realizing is that 2 years ago, the Chicago Bears waylasted that Rams squad, and Chicago lost the double doink game. They were getting ready for Chicago, not Dallas. That's why the Rams were able to run through Dallas, because the pass blocking and the run blocking, they're preparing for the Chicago Bears.
That's
they weren't
2 years
preparing
ago, though, Alex.
And the Cowboys are soft.
And also, let me add, Allen
like the Dolphins.
Allen Robinson and Jalen Ramsey, former teammates. Robinson cooked Ramsey in practice. Justin Fields has a deep ball, unlike Mitchell Trubisky, unlike Andy Dalton, and unlike Nick Foles. What way to shock the NFL but to start Justin Fields against that good caliber defense and come out with a W?
That's
if you put him in there, he get broke up. I don't want to hear nothing.
You can put him in week 2 at home against the Bengals. That's a nice start.
That's smart.
First win. That's going to be his first start and his first win of his career is going to be against the Bengals. If Matt Nagy,
that's a nice place, a gentle place to put him in. You don't got to worry about him dying from Aaron Donald.
Because look, Dak's coming back, and the very first game he's got to play the Bucs. That defense. Everybody's returning. I'm nervous, and I know Dak has
You
skills.
should be.
You know for a fact Dak has skills.
Might lose his other ankle.
Okay,
he'd still be better than anything. He'd still be better than anything Miami has. That trash of a team. Look, with Justin Fields, Ty's 100%.
At least our quarterback played an entire
Ty and I
season.
agree on this. Ty and I agree. Yeah, he got benched when the games got close. He got benched when they got close, but that's a good quarterback. Ty and I agree on this. It's Aaron Donald. And Alex, I know you said that the offensive line from the Bears, look, yes, they have made some improvements. I'm sorry. Nobody blocks Aaron Donald, and you know that. He's going to get killed week 1. And look, I'm not saying athletically they were the same, but when David Carr came out of Fresno State, man, this kid could throw accurate. This kid was balling. He goes through the combine, everything. He got sacked more times in half a season at the time than Peyton Manning got sacked in 3 years. It ruined his career. I don't care how talented Justin Fields is, and I do think he's talented. I think, unfortunately, because I hate Ohio State, he could break that Big Ten kind of Ohio State trend. That being said, Aaron Donald will get to him and kill him. I'm just saying, I'm with you, Eric. You do have to beat the best. But Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have started the first game against the Rams. And yes, I know Alex Smith was there, but I'm just saying, there's no way you start him against Aaron Donald. There's
just
no
so
way.
you know, Patrick Mahomes wouldn't start his first game against the Rams, you say, let's not start Justin Fields' first game. Oh, Tua started his first game against the Rams, and he won. Just so you know. So
right.
Did he
out
get
I'm
pulled
just
in that
saying.
game?
Heck, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to see him against the
that
Browns.
game. He won that game. He didn't get pulled
Yeah.
against the Rams. He beat him.
All right, so really quick, let me go around the clock. Megan, what week? Because I want to write this down so to see who's the closest. Megan, what week do you think Justin Fields is going to start? You're saying week 2. Ty, what week do you think he's going to start?
Week 4, Detroit.
Week 4. Mike, what week?
5, Vegas.
Week 5. John?
When's their bye?
Their
You know when their
bye
buys?
is
Week 10.
week 10.
All right, he'll start week 11.
Wow. Okay, week 11.
Right after
Mr.
the bye,
Fleming?
they'll give him 2 weeks.
I went 11-6. In order for them to go to 11-6, he's got to start early. I'm thinking week 3, week 2. So I'm gonna go week 2 against the Bengals.
So I'm the only guy here, not even a Chicago fan, but I love the city. I'm saying he starts right out the gate. I'm saying he is the week 1 starter, Sunday Night Football in Los Angeles, where the Super Bowl is going to be played at, going against the top defensive guy in the league. I'm saying he starts week 1.